Hey, what's up YouTube? I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on this game, Fellowship, which has recently come into open beta. If you are not aware of that, I believe it is an open beta until the 23rd, so you are still able to get on and play Fellowship right now. If you've heard nothing about Fellowship, basically it is World of Warcraft, but just the Mythic Plus dungeons. And to be honest, I hadn't played too much of World of Warcraft or the Mythic Plus dungeons. I had dabbled in it, but never like to the full extent that other people have. So this is kind of coming from the perspective of someone who hasn't played WoW that much. But I just wanted to give you some of the good, some of the okay, and some of the needs work that I feel like should happen before release, or just to help involve players in the process, or even to help them want to keep playing. Alright, so in this game you see up on the screen the first dungeon actually that I think I ever played. This is not my first time doing the dungeon though. I am playing a DPS class. I chose to play DPS because I thought, hey, the least amount of brain power needed, all I do is pump numbers. Right, that was my only thought behind it, and no offense to DPS players. I do kind of believe that's true though. That seemed to be the way it was, because all I did was follow the tank and try to learn my rotations to do as much damage as possible. Which I definitely didn't do perfectly. Please don't judge me based on that. It is some likely terrible numbers that you'll see, and some misunderstandings of abilities. But nevertheless, I actually did have some fun pumping some numbers. It was satisfying. It was satisfying to try to beat everyone in the DPS, which usually I don't, so it had a good first impression in this dungeon and in the other dungeons as well as the DPS class. So actually, I just want to say combat feels good. It feels like WoW, which is not a bad thing. It's tab targeting. You have abilities that have cooldowns and rotations, and you can cancel their cooldown or like their abilities that they're casting. It all feels good. And if you were with a good team who communicates a lot, you would be able to time canceling the enemy spells, and I think that would it's just a nice team dynamic. Right, there's a team feeling here. Everyone has their own role, and I like that. I wish MMOs would continue leaning into the fact that you need the other players to do well. It just feels like the right thing to do. Unfortunately, one thing that's just okay about the game is not really a surprise, is people are not talking. It's just a completely non-social game. I get very, very minimum communication out of people. We'll see if that changes in the later hours or in later levels as things get more difficult. But in the beginning stages, hardly anyone talks, which I'm not really surprised about, just because it seems like even MMOs themselves have gone away from the social aspect, which is really weird, because why would we want to play a single player MMO? I think what made WoW so great in the early days of it was that there was such a feeling of camaraderie, and you talk to people in the game and you genuinely socialize with them, and that part was a lot of fun. I miss that about MMOs. It's actually why I've even thought about playing MMOs again, but then I realized, like, well, it's not really all that social anymore. So that's one of the okay things about it. I don't really have much problems with the UI in this game. I actually think it looks pretty nice. It would look like something if you had add-ons in WoW, which is good that I don't have to go and use those add-ons. I like that actually. So the aesthetics I think they nailed it. I think everything looks nice. It looks the way I think it should. Nothing really stands out. If you're not into these types of graphics, that's your preference. I think the graphics are fine. I don't mind even the old school look necessarily. Now, one thing that was bad, but I think it's even fixed now, is first impressions on a game are important. Games can be made or broken based on the first impressions. These servers were not ready. This game released, or like the open beta released at 1 p.m. EST, I believe. And I got on at about 6 p.m. and the servers were crap. I was in a queue waiting for a while, checking Steam and everything, and people were saying how they couldn't get in still, that it wasn't working, and they were getting stuck on different screens. And I was experiencing that in the first time trying to get on. And then when I finally got through that loading screen or queue, afterwards they had an even longer loading screen just to get to kind of the hub or the central area. It was a bad impression, right? I thought for a second that I wasn't gonna get to play when I wanted to, and as someone who has grad school and work, that was gonna feel really bad because I don't have all the time in the world to try to get on at a later date. But it did eventually work. It was just a bad first impression, and it made me wonder about the game's stability in the future, right? I had that question in there. Now, something that isn't necessarily good or bad or okay is I wonder about the longevity of this game. Will it hold a player base, or will it just come and go? Right now, as I'm making this video, there are 13,500 people playing. It's not that bad, but think about the millions of people that play WoW, right? It's good. It's fun on WoW. And so every time I queue in this game, it takes about 3, 4, sometimes more minutes to be able to find a dungeon to queue in. That might be better with friends as well. So what I should point out is that I'm playing this all solo, right? No friends with me, just relying on the matchmaking to see how the game feels alone, because ultimately that shows us the longevity of the game, at least in my mind. If I can play it on my own, then the game is good and will have a solid player base. If I can't play it on my own and it has to be played with friends, then I don't know how long the game will last. I mean, if there's a lot of people playing who have friends that play, then good. I could actually imagine this being a really, really good game that you and your friends get on to play every now and then. So, to continue on with that question of longevity, I wonder if the progression will feel like enough to keep players. I hope that it will. For me, personally, first impressions in the first couple of hours in the game, I think it is enough. I'm willing to play the same dungeons over and over again and try and get a better score and do higher and higher difficulties. I'm actually really into that, and I know that a lot of people are, because why else would we be playing this game? Why else do people play Mythic Plus dungeons? Right? It's all about getting better gear, leveling up, doing a harder version of that dungeon, and people have fun doing it. So that's kind of just first impressions of this game. And I think I'm right about the DPS being the least amount. Like, just if you've been watching the video, all I do is follow the tank around and do damage to what he's decided to target. I still probably couldn't tell you where to go on the map. and I'm not worried about it as a DPS. And I don't have to watch my friends' health bars and worry like, oh no, they're dying. That's the healer's job, right? So I really think if you want to pick the easiest route first, then play a DPS class. I picked the one with the lowest difficulty in stars, and I've had a good time playing it. It's kind of like an ice mage, which maybe even makes sense since I did play that in World of Warcraft as well. So maybe that was just an easy enough transition for me. Another thing that I was thinking about with this game is how often will they add more dungeons and more content or more heroes? How often will those things happen? Because in other games where you play the same thing over and over again, like even think about League of Legends, this PvP game, they add heroes. I'm not sure how often, but I know they're up to quite a lot of them, and that makes the game interesting. It keeps it fresh. Right, there's a reason to go back and play some more, learn a new hero maybe. So what will this game do in the future? How will it keep itself interesting? Who is going to play? And what will keep them playing again and again and again? So I think from the rumors I've heard that raids would be a great idea. I think they should definitely add raids that take longer, that have more players in it. That would be, I think that would be really fun. I personally enjoy raids a lot. It's one of my favorite things from WoW as well. Raids and the Mythic dungeons are good times overall. So I hope that they add raids in this game. I hope that they add dungeons to this game. I hope that they continue to add more characters to the game to keep it interesting. Right? They have something really solid, I want to say, in this beta outside of the issues, and again, first impressions are really strong, where I can't get onto the servers. This game has a solid start to it. It's fun. The few dungeons that I've played so far, I don't know if there's more, I've just played I think 3 of them, have been good. They've been interesting to me. I like the bosses, and this is just on easy, so I know that the mechanics will become more important, that my abilities, my skills as I get them and level up and get more things to do, that my interest will stay. And I even have the other classes to still try, right? Like the tank, so I can finally be the one who aggroes everything, the healer, so I can try and keep my team alive. There's a lot that can keep me going on this game. I'm worried that it's not enough to keep other players going on this game. So I am hoping for Fellowship success overall. Hopefully we'll see that as this game progresses into its release in early October. Right now I'm on the fence about buying it or not. I do want to see what the numbers are like for the game, and if it would be playable for someone who plays it solo, who can't get 3 other friends to join in on the game. So that's kind of my thoughts right now. There's good, there's bad. I think we have something that could be really fun, has a lot of potential. They need more players being involved in the game to help make it great, and they gotta have those consistent updates. And one thing I actually don't really want to see in this game, or at least I won't go looking for it, is I really hope that there are no more "this is the best item in the game." Right? I think builds and metas are slowly killing games for me. Right, but this game has been scratching that itch for me. I've been having a really good time and having some fun learning the dungeons and just playing with these random people. Hopefully later it'll get more social, and I'll keep playing. I'll let you know of any updates or any changes that I really like. Especially when the game releases, if there's a strong player base, I'll be sure to try it out and get towards those end game levels and the difficult dungeons. So we're taking out this boss, and it should be down pretty soon. I was super close to getting first in the DPS, but yeah, I hope you get the chance to try out Fellowship if that's something you want to do. And I hope you have a wonderful day, night, morning, whatever time it is for you. And keep on playing those games you love. Peace.